Hey guys, it's Ben. In case you weren't aware, we also own a coffee roastery here at Hilltop Packs. You may have seen some of the videos or photos on Instagram, but we do have a separate website for that. It's hilltoppackscoffee.com. Right now we're going to do a video for our French presses, and that's what you're going to watch right now. Hey guys, it's Ben from Hilltop Packs Coffee, and today we're going to talk about making coffee with a French press. Now you can use a couple different French presses on the market. We have a nice big fancy one. This is it's actually insulated, so the coffee will stay warm for a very long time. We do use this one in the shop for me and my brother. We're going to put that aside. We're not going to use that one today. I actually prefer the ones you can see through, so you can see just how much water you're adding. And I use one similar to this at home, and a lot of French presses will have like markings on it for how much water you're putting in it. This one actually does not, but what I do is I just mark it on the side so you don't have to actually pre-measure it, so you have an idea of where you're putting coffee. As far as the coffee choice today, we're actually going to use High Street Coffee. This is one of our coffees here in the shop. And we do have these for sale, by the way, the French presses. For French press, you want to use a coarse ground coffee. You can use regular coffee, regular ground coffee, and I'll kind of explain how you do that as well. That's what I do at home. But right now we have coarse ground, so if you buy the coffee from us, just ask us to grind it for a French press, and we'll do that for you. Of course, you need some hot water. If you don't have a way to measure the hot water, you can measure the temperature. You can just put it in the microwave or on the stove, take it to a boil, let it set for about a minute, and that'll bring it down to the temperature that you need it to be. You don't want it to be too hot and actually scorch all the coffee. So the little kit we sell actually comes with the plunger here. It comes with a little scoop. If you read the directions, it tells you how much coffee to use. If it's too strong the first time you make it, just do a little bit less. If it's not strong enough, just add a little bit more. So the way I'm going to make this one, I drew a little line, which is about 20 ounces, and I'm actually going to do about 5 scoops. And if you're using a weaker coffee, you can, like an older coffee, you can add a little bit more, but this is pretty fresh, so I'm actually going to use just the straight 5. Did I measure? Did I even count right? I don't know, I guess we'll find out when we watch the video. I think I counted 5. So there is, it might have been 4, who knows, it doesn't matter. Just for demonstration purposes. So we added the coffee in there. It's inside at the bottom. And now we're going to add our hot water, and I'm going to take it up to the line that I drew where I know about 20 ounces of water will be. And we're going to stir it here in just a minute. And once you get the water in here, you want to let it steep for about 4 minutes. If you're using coarse ground coffee, let it steep for about 4 minutes. If you're using just regular coffee, and it's not coarse ground, it's just a regular ground coffee, let it steep for about 3 minutes so you don't over extract the coffee. Right there is good. Get something to stir with. I just got a little coffee stirrer here in the shop. Stir it up a little bit. And again, if you're using coarse ground coffee, wait about 4 minutes before you actually plunge it. If you're using regular ground coffee that you bought at the store, or if you already have some that you make regular coffee with, just let it steep for about 3 minutes. Stir it up nice and good. And then you just wait a couple minutes. Probably would have helped if I would have timed it. You know any jokes that are about 3 minutes long?
No.
No, okay. So. Start again. Okay, we got about 30 seconds left before we have to plunge this thing and actually have it ready to start drinking. Another thing you can do with this French press is you can actually make cold brew with the same coarse ground coffee. So if you're gonna make cold brew, you can absolutely use a French press. Just make sure you're using coarse ground coffee. What you would do is do about 1 part coffee to 4 parts water, put it in here, and cover a saran wrap, put it in the refrigerator for about 24 hours, and then take it back out and then plunge it. Then you have your cold brew. You can add milk to it, add ice to it, add some flavoring to it, whatever you want. Cold brew is awesome. But you can use the same coarse ground coffee for both your French press hot coffee and your cold brew coffee. So okay, it's about time to plunge it. We're gonna take our plunger and make sure everything lines up the way it's supposed to. And make sure the lid's on there nice and secure, and hold that in place, and you just basically plunge it down. And just take your time. If you're using coarse ground coffee, it should go down pretty quick. If you're using regular ground coffee, like just a medium ground, it'll take a little longer to plunge it down, but it's still okay. So that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna pour us a couple of cups of coffee. Get your mug out there, brother.
Yep.
Just hold the lid on when you do it. And this is a great way to make a cup of coffee in the morning. And then you can really dial it in the way you like it. Like I said, you can take a little marker, draw on the side how much water you're going to use. And you can actually weigh out your beans and then grind it right before you make it. Or you can use the scooper for pre-ground coffee. It's pretty slick. So you want to try it? Cheers. Smells good. That's a pretty smooth way to drink a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.